Mass layoffs.
Judge has cleared the way for DOGE. Remember, that's the Department of Government Efficiency, and their cuts to the federal workforce to continue.
Agency purges.
Probationary workers and staff at the IRS are on the employment chopping block.
And return to office orders.
Trump is mandating for the federal workforce, including that most workers return to their offices full time. It also includes a, quote, deferred resignation letter for federal employees.
Many in the media and social media are predicting a doomsday apocalypse for the DMV real estate market. There's a ton of clickbait out there, and it's really hard to tell what's real and not real. The purpose of today's video is to separate fact from fiction to determine really what's going on within the DMV real estate market in late February 2025. There's no question that the DMV area has been shaken to its core over the first 30 days of the Trump administration. The DMV real estate market has been one that's been much more insulated from market collapses or crashes than the majority of the country, and a big part of that reason is because of the federal government, as well as many of the contractors and agencies that work for the federal government. Also in the DMV, we have a lot of private sector jobs as well, but as far as federal government jobs go, they actually consist of about 375,000 individuals throughout DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Job stability, security, and benefits has always been a very big perk to working for the federal government. This is no longer true. Nationwide, the DMV accounts for 12.5% of all the federal civilian employees throughout the country. The Department of Government Efficiency, otherwise known as DOGE, run by Elon Musk and President Trump, are looking to potentially cut the workforce by 75%. According to Terry Clower, who monitors the local economy at George Mason's University Center for Regional Analysis, a federal job means more than just a federal job. On average, for every job in the federal government, you explain 2 to 3 other jobs in the regional economy. Now, all of this is very disconcerting for a lot of our friends, neighbors, and family members around the DMV. However, I'm going to let you know on this video, I have no intention of blowing any sunshine up your ass, just to kind of play a narrative or anything. However, the video, I do want to just once again keep it factual, because you're seeing a lot of disinformation, a lot of ridiculous videos, especially on places like X and TikTok, like this.
Wait a second, why is nobody talking about what's happening with the housing market in DC and around DC? There have been 4,271 houses up for sale in just the last 14 days. Actually, I ran to Zillow and looked for myself, and it was showing me 7,200 houses for sale. There was only 2,100 homes for sale in January.
Since DOGE began discussing mass layoffs, the median home price in Washington, D.C. has fallen by around $139,000. In 30 days, nearly 4,000 homes have been listed for sale in and around Washington, D.C. In November 2024, the median house in Washington, D.C. was worth around $699,000, according to Redfin. Today, the median home is worth $560,000, marking around a 20% drop in around 3 months. There are almost 8,000 homes for sale in the Washington, D.C. metro area.
Now, according to a lot of these TikTok influencers that we're starting to see online, you would think that the market in the DMV area is getting flooded with listings, and I'm here to tell you that's actually not the case, and we are still in an inventory or in a marketplace where inventory is extremely low. With all that being said, let's start digging into the facts. Today, we're going to look at 3 areas. We're going to look at DC. We're also going to look at Montgomery County, Maryland, as well as Fairfax County, Virginia. So these are 3 large areas here, and we're going to kind of show you where the market is currently today and where it was a year ago. Now, before we dive into all the stats, all the facts, I want to let you know that all the data was mined from Bright MLS. And Bright MLS is the MLS system that all of us use, all of us realtors use in the DMV area to add new listings on the market, as well as monitor those and change those that are under contract, as well as close. This is the source. And so with all that being said, let's kind of dig into it. Let's start with the epicenter, which is Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., there's over 700,000 residents. And as of February 18th of 2025, there was 2,055 listings actively on the market market on that day. It's also important to kind of break down, DC's a little different. 60% of those, actually more than 60% of those listings are condo listings. And if you know anything about the DC market, the condo market has been very soft now for a few years. So inventory is very high on condo listings, but it's been high for quite some time. Of the 2,055 listings that are currently on the market, only about 850, 900 of them are single family homes or townhomes. So that inventory level is still very low, and we're seeing that market is still moving very quickly here. And we haven't seen any huge jumps or increases over the last few weeks like a lot of these doomsdayers are saying. When we look back at March 1st of 2024, there was actually 1,850 properties on the market. So that's an increase of about 13% total year over year. Now let's talk about my stomping grounds, Montgomery County, Maryland. First, let me just tell you that there's 1,060,000 residents in all of Montgomery County. So it's a huge county. And as of February 18th, 2025, there were 777 properties on the market total, which is a paltry amount. Once again, in being fair, when we look back and we look at what the inventory amount was March of 2024, so just about a year ago, we were looking at 710 properties on the market. So has inventory gone up some? Yes, it has, but it's a very small amount. It's about 10%. And by the way, inventory has been kind of growing for the last 2 years. So there's nothing really alarming about this. And the other thing that I will say here, as a real estate agent who's out there in the field all the time, I'm getting a lot of calls for people who are getting ready to list their homes. None of them are talking about, the federal layoffs and that they're scared to death and, oh my gosh, we're going to go to foreclosure. We don't know what to do. All of them have been people that I've been talking with for 3 or 4 months now who are just getting ready for the spring market, whether they be looking to downsize, whether they're looking to relocate, retire, whatever it is. I mean, I'm not getting the calls, nor are a lot of the agents that I'm working with getting calls from frantic federal employees saying, oh my gosh, we got to dump and sell these houses right now. Really interesting. Once again, a little bit of an uptick when it comes to inventory, but once again, 777 homes on the market in all of Montgomery County for a county that has almost 1.1 million residents. So that is a very small amount. Now let's talk a little bit about Fairfax County, Virginia. Now with Washington, D.C. and Montgomery County, Maryland, admittedly, we've seen a little bit of an uptick when it comes to inventory. Nothing horrific, nothing heinous like a lot of these fledgling TikTokers are telling you. What we're seeing in Fairfax County, Virginia is actually a little bit of a deficit from this time last year. By the way, this is a county that has 1,140,000 residents, so a little bit bigger than Montgomery County and quite a bit larger than DC. You've actually got 658 properties currently on the market as of February 18th, 2025, which is actually down 16% from the same time last year when we were looking at about 750 properties on the market. So this completely dispels and debunks a lot of these claims that everybody in town is putting their homes on the market and this market is going for a complete crash. I thought those statistics were quite interesting. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. There's absolutely no question that in the area, there's concern. There is a lot of people who are unsure about what their future holds as far as their government jobs or maybe contractors that work with the government. But here's what we're not seeing. We're not seeing a flood of inventory hitting the market. I really don't see that happening. We are seeing an uptick. However, this is a normal uptick. We are right about to enter the spring market. And heck, some would say that either the Super Bowl or President's Day weekend, which by the way, both of them have passed, is usually the unofficial start to the real estate spring market. This is when we start to see a lot of inventory hitting the market, and that's going to increase as we start getting into March and April, which is really more the thick of the spring markets. There's nothing really out of the abnormal here. Yes, we're seeing listing inventory pick up some, but it's not crazy amounts like you're hearing on some of these clickbait posts online. And we're also seeing here too that most of the properties, at least most of the ones that I've listed so far this year, have been getting multiple offers. They've been selling within a week. If they're properly priced, properly conditioned, properly staged, properly marketed, they're not hanging on the market very long. There are some that are a little bit different. Condos in DC, it's definitely going to be a different market. That is definitely a soft market there. Condos in Montgomery County are not going to be as quick moving as you're going to see the single family or townhouses, but that's condos and that's the condo market there. This is what I'm expecting to see, and this is what we're starting to see a little bit. There's still many more buyers out in the marketplace today than there are home sellers. I do expect that, with a lot of these cuts and a lot of the uncertainty that's in the marketplace, we're probably going to start seeing seeing some buyers who say, you know what, I want to put my search on pause. I got to wait this out. I need to see what's going to happen. You know, I've heard of a few buyers who are saying that right now. However, there's still a lot of numbers out there, people that are coming into open houses. We're still seeing in many cases multiple offers, homes still selling over list price. Not all the time. It's not like it was in 2020 or 2021. However, we're still seeing that a lot. If you guys have any questions when it comes to the DMV real estate market, I'd love to talk to you about that. Best way, if you have specific one-on-one questions and you want to set up a time one-on-one to meet with me virtually, then you can go ahead and click the QR code that's on the screen or that Calendly link below in the description. I'd love the opportunity to talk to you a little bit about your plans and what's going on in your world, as well as really, once again, break down fact from fiction. Thanks once again for checking out this latest video. If you have any questions, hit me up and I'll see you next week.